from. Tell your girl she can kick it if she wants some, but we got no time to waste.
Welcome to 4AZ. I'm your host, Tyler McDowell Blanken, and this is part 2 of our Abbott Elementary Season 5 preview. On this episode, I welcome back Mike Steph and Sarah Beth to answer the biggest questions of the new season. Let me start by saying I have missed you both. Welcome back. It's so great to see you. Sarah Beth, Mike Steph, how you been?
Ladies
Me
first.
first. Been good. To echo you, I've missed our chats. I know we still keep in touch, but it's just not the same when we meet every other week. Things are good. We're wrapping up first quarter. Third grade still. This group has kept me on my toes. I think this is the first year where I even had to email my principal Friday, and I was like, "Hey, most of my kids failed their vision test, and they don't have glasses, and I need help on what do you do when I can't put them all in the front row, help." So this group is just every week it's something new, but they've come so far. It was really cool today. We did a end of unit review. And I actually videotaped it and sent it to my principal because they were doing some group work and stuff. And I was beginning of the year, they would have been rolling around on the floor and just everywhere and I was they were in partners the whole time. I was we've gotten there. So it was a really good reminder too, because when you're in the thick of it, it's you're just exhausted and you're frustrated. And then I'm looking back and I'm oh my gosh, we can function, because we could not week one. It was teaching kinder, and I don't do kinder. So we're doing good. I'm exhausted and I'm really ready for fall break next week, but things are really good.
It's so close, Sarah Beth. I love that for you. I love
close.
hearing the progress you've already seen in your kiddos. And this is what, week 9, and you're already seeing that.
Yeah.
They must have a great teacher. How about that?
No, thank you.
Mike Steph, Summer of Steph. The mixtape is available now. How you been?
I'm doing good. We're recording this in the middle of my New York Jets. Pretty much disappointing me as usual. A day after my New York Mets had an epic collapse of historic proportions, being the fact I'm a New Yorker, born and bred. It's been a double shot of horror, but I'm so glad that the triad is back, so we can talk about some Abbott Elementary.
Mike, I can't believe, and Sarah Beth, I can't believe it's already that time. When I saw the first teaser that Abbott Elementary was coming back in October, I said, "What is this? Is this not accurate reporting?" But then once we got it confirmed, I reached out to you both. Obviously, we have our DM on the side, which we communicate. I would say maybe 70% Abbott, 30% life and other things. But the fact that we're officially here, we're dropping this episode the morning of the premiere later on tonight. And I can't think of two better people to discuss my favorite show on network TV with. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. Again, we're going on this episode to discuss the biggest questions of season 5. We'll have time for Theory Corner. We'll hear from Sarah Beth and Mike Steph about their predictions for season 5. And then we will also end with a music-themed exit ticket, which I'm very excited for. So let's tee it off. Big question. Sarah Beth, we're going to start here. Last season focused on Principal Ava Coleman. Which character do you think season 5 will or should spotlight? Whose arc are you most interested in?
Ooh, I think they're leaning towards Barbara. I think there's going to be some more. Just a lot of the ads that I got caught up on today seem to feature her a lot in a lot of different ways. And one of the kind of themes was, what are her next steps? And so I think that's going to be one of our bigger, is seeing what happens next for Barbara.
Would she be your selection? Are you most invested in her arc?
I mean, I'm always invested in my girl Shamenti,
Melissa
overall,
Shimenti's the answer.
But
yes.
I think that especially, I'm coming up on my 13th year in the classroom, and knowing where Barbara's at, of just that you're, is this my purpose? Have I found my calling? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Is it time for something new? Knowing that feeling and being able to relate to that, from that veteran perspective, is a really interesting perspective I want to see more of.
Well, fantastic. Two great characters. Mike Steph, talk to us.
I'm thinking. Well, I have two trains of thoughts. One, I could think of uh the impending nuptials, maybe, of Greg and
Which couple?
well, definitely,
We're
definitely
gonna get
not.
there. We're gonna.
Okay, definitely not Ava and O'Shea. No. But Greg definitely is probably leaning toward that popping the question. But to get off that, I really think they might lean into Jacob because if you think about it, everybody had like a storyline going into this upcoming season, leading out of the finale, or should I say even the penultimate episode, the second to last episode. It seemed like everybody had a path but Jacob. It's almost like Jacob was, you know, it's almost like his storyline kind of ended the middle of last year. I mean, the last season, and he was just kind of like on the outside looking in. So I think that was a way to set him up with a clean slate for this to be the season of Jacob.
I could see it. I have two choices. Actually, like you both, I have two main selections here. Janine Teagues, you know she is my favorite character on the show. She is always in the center of the poster. The show is based around her. It all stems from her everyday life at the school and outside of the school. So I'm really eager to see what's next for Janine in season 5. Every season, it seems like she figures more out. She figures more out about herself, about her role as a teacher, and I really want to see the joys that she's going to have this season, but then also maybe the challenges that she runs into, whether it's financial, personal, or just the beautiful journey that she's been on. That, to your point, Sarah Beth, has really resonated with viewers, regardless of what they do for a living. But I think in particular, the educators who follow the show. So she's up there. She's number one for me. I'll say that with my chest. 1A, O'Shawn. Are we ready to have the O'Shawn follow-up conversation, you two?
Sure.
I didn't know we were in conspiracy theory corner yet.
Oh, no. We're not in theory corner yet, Sarah Beth, but this is our second biggest question of season 5. Mike, you kind of teased it a moment ago. 2 couples on this show. I want to know, what do you both think? We'll start with Mike for this one. What's next for Janine and Gregory? Mike, you mentioned nuptials. Maybe Gregory Eddie's going to get down on one knee. We got to hear what Sarah Beth thinks about that. And also, what is next for Ava and O'Shawn? Mike Steph, you saw a post from the official Abbott Instagram that showed Ava and O'Shawn, and you have questions. This is true.
Well, not so much questions, but the body language kind of, I don't know. Maybe I was reading too much into it because I was so starved for new content for Abbott, upon this debut. But I was looking at them, and they was pretty much giving like a recap of what happened during their summer break. And it seemed like they were together, but it almost seemed like Ava was kind of still trying to maintain her own space because they was hugged up, but you kind of see Ava, like, I don't know, like I said, the body language kind of was a tell to me. I think it was intentional because I don't think it was like real life actor tension or whatever. I think it was intentional to let them know that, all right, they had a good summer, but they still have some underlying problems that's probably going to manifest itself in the season because they're the couple that can actually evolve and progress more. Right now with Janine and Greg, last year was their evolution of a couple, and they finally got to the point of, I really believe, trusting each other to the point of being their authentic selves, not only in front of each other, but in front of, family members such as Greg's father or whatever, getting approval from Greg's father. So I think that's why I said, I think they're going to be leaning into the nuptials sometime during this year. It's going to be an engagement or at least a proposal. Whether it actually goes through with it or not, I'm not sure. I could see, let's say, maybe I'm looking way too far in advance, but I could see, a wedding maybe as the mid-season finale of season 5, and then that'll be a cliffhanger into the second part if they decide to split it into 2 parts. But Ava and O'Shea, or Sean, I'm sorry, Ava and O'Shawn, I think the bubbling um I won't say tension, but the bubbling problems they might have had that they seemingly smooth it over. I think that's going to come to the surface at least at the beginning of season 5 for that particular couple.
Sarah Beth, what say you?
I don't know that I see Janine and Gregory getting married, engaged. I see them maybe moving in. Just because everything they do seems to move very slow. That we're technically like a year into their first relationship. I don't see them rushing. I had this really weird thought while now I'm in conspiracy theory corner. While Mike was talking, because I was thinking about that ad. Is that ad or trailer, whatever you want to call it, was odd. Because I don't know if you caught too, where she said something like, "Who are you most excited to see?" And she says Johnson, obviously, but then she goes, "And Mort, the science teacher."
The science teacher.
And it was a weird where it was those are the Johnson. That makes sense just because they have that co-conspirator relationship. But it was why more it was something about it was odd, and their body language, like Mike said, is weird. How they interact, and I don't know what it is, but did they elope this summer? I don't know why that popped into my head while Mike was talking.
Okay.
But there was something about just their interaction. It was they were keeping a secret of something. It was odd.
That does make sense.
There's just some weird where it was almost like a deflect. It was go big, go home almost. Because even when she was yeah, block all the women in his phone, even his sister. I've seen Game of Thrones. And she's never been a self-conscious person. She's never been do I know she'll take her hoops out and fight? Absolutely. But she's never been one to worry in that set, to be
so possessive
threatened by her partner, choosing somebody else. The whole thing about it is really the only part where I felt it was a normal interaction is when they said, "Are you a couple?" And she goes, "A couple of tens." And then everything after that is odd, but it doesn't seem like they've broken up and they're pretending to be together. There's something that I feel they were either that or it's the Lysol Clorox commercial from last year where we all watched it and then it was halfway through we're "Oh, this is a commercial." Do you remember
Mr. Johnson?
That was the vibe it gave me where I was this is odd, but I don't feel I'm missing an ad placement. There was something odd about where I'm we're missing something, and I don't know why elopement popped into my head as Mike was talking, but I was maybe just something they were trying to deflect from something they're hiding, but I don't think it's a negative thing.
Are we still all in on O'Shawn? And by we,
Yes.
I mean you two.
Yes, know I said today I'm Team O'Shawn. That's not changing, Tyler. So Tyler, you tell us why you hate O'Shawn.
Okay, so listen, I've had this summer to think about it, and I don't know that I'm wrong about O'Shawn. You two have expanded my view. I've been willing to give him a shot, especially how season 4 ended. But there's just something that I think we're pretty locked into Gregory and Janine. It seems like the three of us agree. The arc is that they figured it out. That doesn't mean the relationship will be flawless, but they are locked in, and we love that for them. Mm-hmm. With Ava and O'Shawn, to Mike's point, I love that we have two relationships heading into season 5 that are very different and are evolving differently, involving 4 very, very different characters. There's just, I'm just not ready to commit to O'Shawn. And I recognize that might be a me thing and not him. For example, I have a playlist that I title. I listen to it going to school and coming back from school. It's entitled Work, W-E-R-K. And one of the songs on there is Work by Rihanna and Drake. And we're going to talk about old school songs a little bit later during the Exit Ticket, you two. One of the lines that Drake spits, that he raps on there, is, "If I had a twin, I would still choose you." The great Canadian philosopher, Aubrey Graham, excuse me. "If you had a twin, I would still choose you. I don't want to rush into it if it's too soon." There's just something about O'Shawn that gives me that energy of maybe he's too pretty. Maybe he's too handsome. Maybe that's my issue. I feel like something is going to happen this season that leads to a breakup, and it's going to be on O'Shawn. How about that? Michael
You think
Aloysius
it's going to be
Steffens, you're giving me a
O'Shawn's
taste.
fault?
I do. He's a tech
Like,
genius.
directly his fault?
I think so. I worry about this. I know Ava is the main choice here based on her decision making, what we've seen in the past. Can we have nice things? Can we have two healthy, growing couples at the same time?
As in,
I
you
hope
think,
so.
like, because I know you still probably think O'Shawn's a little nefarious, to quote you.
I do. I think there's. I think
Like,
there's
when you
more
say
to him.
you think he's going to end things, do you mean just
Yeah.
in a, because like eventually, right, if Ava continues to pull away, that's a valid reason. Because he is clear, so far he's been all in, nefarious or not.
Right. And I do love during the dates in season 4, and I think you both really admire this about O'Shawn. You know, he really steps to Ava in the sense that he holds his own when they're in conversation, when they're having dinner, and you know, if he's not getting the respect or the attention that he would like reciprocated, he'll respectfully say, like, hey, if this isn't going to work, I don't want to waste my time.
So
I don't want to waste yours.
is that your feeling why he would end something? Or like, do you think there is still some nefarious,
this is
Tyler
very
Perry-esque?
Yeah. Good memory. This is very therapeutic for me talking this out. It's probably a little bit of everything. Sarah Beth is probably. Listen, I'm willing to give him a shot. I just wonder, because they're an established couple heading into the season, what is their arc? That's really the intrigue for me in many ways for season 5. We know where Gregory and Janine are headed, I think. But for Ava and O'Shawn, that's the wild card. Ava historically is a wild card. And O'Shawn, it seems like he's fitting in like a glove, like he's a seminal part of this cast. I just feel like there's more about him. It's how you two felt about Manny. So don't accuse me of just hating on don't accuse me of just hating on the pretty guys. Manny, you two were very skeptical about him, and I stood up for him.
Here's the thing: I usually don't defend pretty men, so
here we are.
Where I'm out. Manny still deserved it. I don't trust anyone at this
I feel like we're gonna get a Manny cameo. Michael Aloysius Steffens, you've been too quiet on this.
Is this a case of projecting some inner thoughts? I wouldn't go as far as saying insecurities on O'Shawn. Like,
is it because I'm wearing my nice shirt from Macy's? For those of us who are not on YouTube, I'm wearing one of my favorite loud leopard shirts. I think you're holding that against me.
See, I was going to refrain from bringing that on air, but you did open that door, so I will keep that in mind before the end of this recording. But also maybe, and this is just going off the reservation a little bit, but maybe since you're such a connoisseur of relationship programs such as The Bachelor, The Bachelor in Paradise, The Golden Bachelor, so forth. My bad. No more Bachelor in Paradise. You swore off The Bachelor in Paradise. But maybe because you've been so ingrained in those type of roller coaster relationships or nefarious means and so forth, that when you look at this, you can't take everything. You can't take it on the surface. You're already looking underneath for an ulterior motive. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. That's where I'm coming at from the projection standpoint, not your personal projection of GI's most eligible bachelor. No, I'm talking about the fact of how you consume all the relationship content, and now when you're watching a show and you're like, you know what, it's too good to be true. Something's the matter with him.
It kind of gives that, Shout out to the Good Infringement podcast. Shout out to another great Miranda educator, Brad Winchester. Thank you for the mention there, Mike. No, that's fair. You both know me very, very well. I'm excited to see how these big questions play out this season. I think it's time that we move into Theory Corner. Oh my goodness. Sarah Beth, you mentioned this earlier. I didn't realize we were so on the same page about this. We need to hear any theories you both have heading into season 5. I will divulge that I am convinced this will be the final year in the classroom for one of our cast members. And we have 3 main options: Barbara's retirement, Jacob potentially going into a different role, maybe counseling, maybe social work. But the sneaky pick here for me is Gregory Eddy. And we know he has an interest in administration. We saw him in the role, at least for one parent night last season. I'm really curious if maybe he is that hidden answer for us where he will ascend to to becoming a principal, because he was good at what he did. You two remember season 4? He was doing his thing. He was developing confidence, especially if him and Janine are going to get married. You want the salary. You don't want to have to drive Uber anymore. I'm just saying, I think Gregory Eddie could be the sneaky pig here. Thoughts? Theory corner, Sarah Beth.
There is something, Shaminti, it looks like, is leaving 2nd grade. And one of the trailers I saw, something about her teaching high school. But I can't quite place my finger if that's going to be a permanent position, if they're all having to, like, you remember the COVID days of, like, where you all had to fill in when you didn't have subs. But it's interesting because they haven't really said, like, we know it's Abbott Elementary, but Jacob teaches 6th, 7th grade, like 7, like he teaches,
They're older. Yeah.
which, like, we have some K-8s in our district. So it's an interesting where they've never really explained what the grade levels really are, because it's also interesting, even like at the K-8s in our district, they still run pretty like 6, 7, 8, and then K-5, like separately. They actually even run on different like bell schedules. And so it's very interesting how like Jacob and Mort are the only 2 intermediate teachers. Everyone else is kinder, 2nd, and 3rd, I think. But they still are always like running on the same schedule and together.
That's true.
But they've never like really explained that. And then seeing in the clip, it did say high school, because she was saying something about like, this isn't like, high school isn't like teaching 2nd grade anymore. And so I'm interested to see where that's going. If they've like lost funding and so now they've become like a K-12, or which we know like funding has been such a struggle for, and unfortunately that is something a lot of schools right now are facing.
Right.
Especially depending on like how budget cuts and things. Like right now we're looking at possibly, I think it's like 70% of title funding, like a huge chunk could be cut, and that your options then are school shutdowns. So I don't know if they're like consolidating schools. I mean, one of the things like Abbott's never really shied away from discussing the political like implications of like not fully funding schools. They've always addressed that, and like they addressed it with like the charter school line and things like that. So I don't know if maybe they're addressing it from that way, because my guess is that Abbott would be like a title funded school, most likely, given what like little pieces we know. So I don't know if we're looking at a lack of funding, and we know the district, when they did the budget episode,
literally an episode entitled budget. Right?
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if Barbara like retires or steps out. Jacob, I could see going within schools, but like more in an advocate role. But Shaminti, it is one of those pieces where why the high school piece was mentioned. So.
Yeah, and I may be completely wrong. Maybe all of them run it back and they continue to be the amazing teachers they are, doing great work for their kiddos. But it just seems like, okay, season 5, what's that next conflict or that next?
And I don't know that they'll like leave the show. I do see it because like we know like teacher turnover rate is very high. That it would almost, again, they pull from so much real life that it does make sense that someone's either leaving for a better opportunity or more money, or they're burned
or retiring.
Out. Yeah,
like
or
said,
they're
Barbara.
retiring and they're just done.
Yeah.
So I mean that does parallel more.
Mike Steph, you got to jump in on this one.
But...
I could. Listen. I could be wrong as well.
Just like you're wrong about O'Shawn, but
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, Sarah Beth. But humility.
No, I'm kind of going to lean into the Jacob aspect again, because just seeing how much he really cares about not only the quote unquote just the student, but the child, the progress, the maturation process and everything. I can really see him leaning forward into the counselor role, the social worker role, because I think he actually will make more of a difference. Especially with how he feels and the drive that he has, than as a regular if that's a good term, a regular educator, because you could teach them everything from the books and the ABCs, 1, 2, 3, so forth, but to actually make a difference in a child's life, I think that would give him more fulfillment. So, and we saw a piece of that last year, and especially in preceding seasons. So, past seasons. So, I think that would be an aspect that hopefully they would explore, and that would actually open up the world. Even though, it's Abbott Elementary and everything is pretty much based at the school. I think in season 5, maybe it's time to maybe bleed over into let's say a particular student's home life, even just the setting, have home visits or something to that effect. I don't know. I think that would just add an extra layer to, Abbott Elementary is very dense to me for something that would be just seen as a surface comedy. They tackle so many topics. I think that would just be another aspect that they can fully explore, and Jacob would be a big catalyst on going into that exploration.
Yeah, Mike, and we saw, I think of the interactions we saw last season with Jacob and his student RJ, and how, to your point, he's so interested in the whole student and making sure they're supported. And I think that's definitely something to monitor. I forgot to mention earlier, we have 3 episodes confirmed already for season 5 in terms of their titles and who it's written by. So, of course, tonight's debut on October 1st, the episode is entitled Team Building, written by the incomparable Quinta Brunson. The following week on October 8th, that episode 2 of season 5, is entitled Cheating, which is very interesting. And then on October 15th, episode 3 is entitled Game Night, which already I have a feeling will be my early contender for favorite episode of the year. I loved karaoke from last season. I think about it
One
often.
of my favorite episodes.
So can I just say my favorite Abbott episodes, especially last season, were the ones where they went off campus. I thought Quinta and company just handled it brilliantly. And not to just recycle our conversations from last year, but just totally spotlighted the beauty in the relationships you can form with colleagues, and how you can be at the karaoke bar and run into your ex. That's real life. Did I tell you both a time when I pocket dialed my ex?
No.
Yeah, this happened. Yeah, this is on the way to school as well. Somehow, with my phone in my pocket, I noticed after the fact that I dialed my ex, and I took the phone out and I just fumbled it, and I don't even remember if I reached out to the ex. I think I was just so embarrassed that I just acted like it never happened. This doesn't happen to you too, where you the iPhone, you accidentally pocket dialed it?
No.
Okay, so you just let it linger, like, all right, I pocket dialed it, and no harm, no foul.
Yeah, shout out to 2019. This was a minute ago, but I can't confidently say that I definitively reached out after that. I think I may have just let Jesus take the wheel on that one.
Did they contact you back, like, Tyler? I swear I got a missed call from you.
Yeah, I don't know that they did either.
Maybe you got lucky and you ended the call before it went through.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, I did this out of the
pocket
podcast. No one's listening. We're okay. Yeah.
If you pocket dialed it, that means it went to voicemail.
Yeah, I don't know. I should have never brought this up.
I don't think it was actually a pocket dial. I think that we were making a call and they didn't answer.
No,
this is more like a late night, Uber Eats.
No. I did not. That's crazy. But way to bring it back to Abbott. I take back what I said.
I don't pocket dial, Tyler, because women's pants don't fit phones. Our pockets are not big enough.
That's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair, SB. Okay. Well, we're gonna leave this topic, probably never to return again.
Oh,
Production
it's coming
team,
back up at some point.
Production team, you know what to do. I'm very excited for game night on October 15th. That was my original point. Okay, theory corner. Mike Steph, Sarah Beth, any theories?
I can see that coming on the screen. Big tie.
Any theories that you two? That's not how it goes at all. Any theories you two have about season 5? I'm just ignoring Mike at this point, Sarah Beth. So that's why I'm going to kick it back to you, and then.
Oh, are you doing your plan ignoring?
And then we'll hear from Mike. Yeah, our viewers, our listeners know how this works. Yeah, I will respond to some of Mike Steph's criticisms, but then others I just won't. Just like the classroom, sometimes you got to just move forward. Sarah Beth, any theories you have for season 5?
I don't have any specific. One thing I did notice though is Barbara's wearing like a matching sweatsuit in one of the clips.
Good call.
And
What do
like
you
she's
suspect?
still very much put together, but again, she's always like dressed professionally. And so there's just some again, I really had to go through a deep dive because back to school, the running joke on campus, like I never know where my phone is. It stays on my desk or I'll never see it again. So I catch up on social media like at 8:30, 9:30 at night before like I fall asleep. So I had to go in and look at like the Abbott social media page today just to like see. And it's just like little things where I was like, oh, why is she in like a sweatsuit? She wouldn't wear that in the classroom other than for like a spirit day or something like that. And then the Ava and Oshan, like there's just some odd. I don't have any theories. I'm really interested though to see how this season plays out. Because it's just like little things. Again, the comment about being excited to see Morton. Like, is anyone excited to see Morton? Sorry, Morton.
Sorry, Morty. In response to your observation, Sarah Beth, I think about, well, I hope I should say that we can get at least one episode with some side quests for Barbara and your homegirl, Melissa Chimenti, because that was also those were also some of my favorite moments in season 4 when you can just see the richness in their relationship and those little side quests. Or I wonder if the sweatsuit will incorporate that.
Also, because I sent you know how like the ad had like Barbara's number? You know, you can call that number.
No.
Yeah, I did it.
How did that go for you?
Let's see. You want me to do it again?
Oh, this is in real time.
I don't know if it'll work. Let's see if it works.
This is fantastic content.
I know. I was like, do I tell them now? The number is we don't need to see how many times I've called my representatives this week. It's a lot.
It's not your ex, so that's healthy. Yeah, I love
it's
that.
not. I don't pocket dial my exes. I just rage call my senators and my congressmen. I call them after hours so that I don't have to talk to anybody, and I leave voicemails.
Listen, get it how you live.
One of them, sometimes it goes through and the interns hang up on me like before and I'm pretty sure. I'm like, listen, I'm much meaner on a voicemail. It'll be nice if you're a human being. Sorry to derail.
Sarah Beth, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, you have reached the voicemail box of Ms. Barbara Howard. I apologize for missing your call, as I was likely preoccupied with Jesus, or Gerald, or Jazzercise, hallelujah, in that order. If you are Janine, please do not breathe directly into the microphone. If you are the telemarketer, hello. And thank you for choosing me. For any Abbott-related concerns, I will be reachable at Abbott Elementary starting October 1st. It is going to be a wonderful school year. Thank you.
I'm going to miss her when she retires.
Mm-hmm.
That was fantastic.
I just love that. Unless you're Gerald, Jesus, or Jazzercise.
Janine, stop breathing into the phone.
Poor Janine. She just always catches strays.
She's my choice. I'm locked in.
Yeah, and the only reason, because I sent it to you guys, and then I happened to look at the comments, and people were like, "Oh, I called. It's the cutest voicemail." And I was like, "Well, no, I got to see." And so it is.
I'm so glad you did.
So know at least we get her on October 1st. What happens after?
We don't know. One of my takeaways, Sarah Beth, from that epic moment, and Mike Steph, from what you shared earlier, is the Abbott Instagram is popping. So if you're on Instagram, first in this order, you got to follow Sarah Beth at Dear Sarah Beth. You also got to follow Mike Steph at Mike_Steph. We're at 4AZ Teach, and you got to follow the Abbott account. It seems like we're getting a little bit of breadcrumbs of maybe what's to come in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, I know I've referenced the Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny, what do you call it? Board. But that's how I feel right now, where it's just like there's all these like weird pieces, and I'm like, I really need to just write them down. So that way when we come back in a couple weeks, it's like, oh, here we go. Like, this is why she was in the sweatsuit, and this is why she was teaching high schoolers, and this is why Ava said she missed Morton. Like, we can't let it go. It's weird.
I can't wait. Like you said, Sarah Beth, we'll be dropping episodes, recaps every 2 weeks. Premiere here on October 1st. Our next episode will be October 15th. Mike Steph, Theory Corner.
Just it just popped in my head. Something that y'all was talking about earlier about perhaps they was expanding from K-8 to K-12, or by chance they're splitting the school. Like, I don't know. For just off the top of my head, maybe they're having an annex to the school, so certain faculties, if they're expanding, they can't have everything in the same building, so they have an annex, and so certain faculty members are over there, so you're not having the interaction through the halls in the facility room and so forth, faculty room and so forth. So maybe that's why. Oh, I'm going to miss this, or maybe I don't know. That just popped in my head. But as for my theory, just based on these first 3 titles of the episode, cheating. That's so multifaceted. You can talk about tests, because you can always parlay into, well, maybe they was having some type of introductory test for the year, and one of the students were cheating, and they had to show the person the importance of not cheating and morals and so forth. Or since we do have 2 couples, one we would believe would be in the formative stage.
Tyler, I know exactly what you're thinking.
Or Greg and Janine, since they've been in the honeymoon stage. Or it can be maybe we have a debut of another couple, and that couple was born out of cheating. I don't know. I'm just thinking, because matter of fact, we have 3 couples. I forgot Melissa. Remember Melissa? Yes,
with the firemen.
Yes,
the fire
yes.
chief.
So maybe over the summer break, maybe her insecurities of which can manifest itself and she's gone back into the shell that she initially came out of toward the end of season 4 when it came to the firemen. So maybe the firemen cheated, or maybe Melissa was tempted by the apple, and maybe she took a bite off the apple, and now she's being chastised by Barbara, because Barbara, apple, religion, all ties together. And maybe that's why she was in that sweatsuit, because she was just fed up and like, what, I'm so disappointed at Melissa for something that she craved for all these years, and she finally got it, and she threw it down the drain. That's really brought my spirit down, and I'm just going to go through the motions. And maybe, like I said, I'm really brainstorming right now, but there's so many possibilities. But cheating, something is going to happen that episode to start or give a good direction of where we're going to go for at least the first half of the season.
You know who we haven't talked about? Johnson.
Mr. Johnson,
like
the Jill Scott fanatic.
Like usually we have, because like he's not just this like background character. He plays like a real role. But he's one we have.
He's even more mysterious than O'Shawn.
But
he's even more he's even more mysterious than O'Shawn.
He is, but usually we have something to go on with him. Like I was thinking about it too, like just while you were talking, like he's not really, from the ads I saw, like he's there, but not, usually you get like a funny one-liner or something from him. Like you see him like in the background and you hear like mention of him.
Wasn't he, if I'm not mistaken, because my memory's kind of messed up right now, wasn't he training someone to do that job? Wasn't it a younger, like an
Wasn't
not
that,
an intern, but
just pushing him out and he like knew it or something?
Yes, he had an apprentice and he felt a way about it.
Yeah,
so
I'm not saying that he's gonna yeah, so maybe, but at the same time, maybe the reason why we haven't mentioned Mr. Johnson is because he gives a long-lasting feeling of what you saw. Mm-hmm. That's thing. It's been a break, so we don't have anything fresh in our mind to go off of. Mr. Johnson is always an integral part of an episode, as in might not be for the main story, but comic relief or so forth, or just like dropping a jewel and leaving, and then you pick up on it like 2-3 episodes after the fact. So maybe just the fact that we're at the very beginning of the season, after team building, we're like, you know what? Okay, Mr. Johnson's on one this season, and then off to the races.
Mhm.
That's just a theory of mine.
Wow. Yeah. And Mr. Johnson's made a lot of progress as a character. He was just season 1, season 2, he was there, but how integral is he? And it seems like, particularly last season, it was really established that not only is he the most interesting man in the world, but he is also he's an essential part of this crew.
Mhm.
Something for us to ponder.
Mhm.
Yeah. We're going to think
Well,
about this. Sarah Beth,
and
you
I
want
was
to add in
just
before we get to
thinking
our exit
because,
ticket?
like you said, you're really excited for game night.
am.
But they've had a lot of tie-ins. I wonder if it's really like board games, or could it be like the Phillies, the Eagles, the Flyers?
Yes.
Like
The Phillies
that,
episode is this season. Right. Yes.
right? Like I
Yep.
wonder if that's tying in.
Yes.
But which would also, like, I'm still convinced that like we're gonna find out like at the end that like Johnson is actually some like billionaire. Like he's just doing it for like something to do. Like that we're gonna
For
find out
sure.
something because like, well, then there was with the I can't think of her name now, the singer where he was like stalking
Jill
her.
Scott. Yes.
Jill Scott, thank you. I was like, I can
Yeah.
see her and I cannot think of her name. Like, yeah, we just has these like such. I kind of want just like a prequel to like I just want to know more about Mr. Johnson.
Me too.
And I can't decide either we're never going to get it or we're gonna get it like the very last episode where like everything comes together. Like I think he's
Right.
always gonna be this like eccentric
Yes.
force.
Yes. And listen, I love Jill Scott too, but Mr. Johnson was just going too hard in the paint last season. It's like, why are we having this arc for Mr. Johnson? I mean, I want him
that
to
was
be
a
interesting
weird.
and
Like it
mysterious,
hit a
but
point where it like crossed it. Where I was
yeah,
like, this is not Mr. Johnson.
that
Like
was
it
one thing the
started
three
as
of us
funny,
agreed
and I
on.
think there were, and I forget exactly where. I think had they kind of left it where like you kind of speculated it was him, but then when he confirmed it, it was like, oh, it's not as funny.
Yeah. And Mike, for our viewers, kind of refresh. That was one of your, I don't want to say issues, but your observations of season 4 was some of the humor being a little more crude or just landing differently than it had in seasons past. You had the Always Sunny tie-in, and it was a different path for Abbott last season in many ways.
Well, the thing was, if I recall, I didn't really have a problem with the Always Sunny tie-in because I thought that was just an interesting dynamic to know that what you get on FX from the guys from Philadelphia, you're not going to get on broadcast TV or ABC. So just the way they integrated them into it, and it landed was great. But when you had the students disrespecting Jacob, calling him out his name, little innuendos there. The same thing with the stalker's storyline that's supposed to be a joke, and I'm like, that's especially in this day and time in this society with everything that's going on around with mistreatment of women and so forth. Yeah, I see ha, but at the same time, it's just bad timing, especially for what we have grown to be accustomed to with Abbott. So hopefully they kind of stay away from that this year. Like there's ways to be edgy without being cringeworthy. And those two particular incidents were cringeworthy. And I actually don't like the word cringe, but there's no other way to describe it.
Before we get to our exit ticket, quick costume corner. I just thought about this. Are there any Abbott Elementary Halloween costumes that we're noticing? And if not, why don't we have a Mr. Johnson costume yet?
Well, I think we know what you're going to be now, Tyler.
No, I just thought about this. Why? I don't know that any other characters it would work. It could definitely be problematic. I think for Mr. Johnson, he's the most costumable character, is he not? Little
He'd
Mr.
be
Johnson,
the easiest unless you were doing like the whole crew.
Right.
Because like Janine, right? Because she's very interesting, and like it's always like just take one like sweater off, or like she dresses very much like a primary, kind of like a primary teacher from like the 90s. But like more, it's a weird, I don't know how to explain, but like she would have rocked like a denim holiday vest. I just know it. But like no one else really has like anything that's like distinguishable unless you were doing like everybody together. I did love when Shamenti dressed up like her guinea pig. So I definitely think
Yeah,
there's
Sweet
like
Cheeks.
room to play with it, but I
Okay.
think you'd either have to like do something like that, right? Like if you're Shamenti, you're gonna have to have the guinea pig, or
Yeah. Yeah.
Gregory, you gotta have your plants. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Johnson's like the most
Had the Schmedium.
identifiable because he also wears
Sure.
the uniform everywhere.
Right. And the prop
Mhm.
potential is tremendous here.
O'Shawn
Mike Steph, anything
also.
you want to add? Yeah, before we
I
get
mean,
to exit ticket,
O'Shawn
what
is
you got?
pretty distinguishable because he has the
He is the
glasses. He always
glasses.
has the
Yep.
jacket. He
He's
likes
got
the
the
tech
lanyard.
jacket.
He always wears his lanyard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The perfect lineup.
I think that would be a good character for you to play this coming trick or treat season. You got the beard. Just add a little bit more Beijing. To get it a little fuller. What you go put the glasses on.
The glasses.
The top. Listen, you can just say O'Shawn got a haircut. But
yeah, he got the Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, you can have a combination. You're O'Shawn Johnson.
Hey, that may be something. All right, you two. As fun as this has been, we got to close it out the only way we know how to. Our exit ticket. So, as you may have noticed, one of the first ads I saw on ABC for the new season of Abbott Elementary included one of my favorite songs from years past, Right There by Chingy. So my question for you, our exit ticket on this episode, what's your favorite iPod, dare I say iPod Nano era song? What were you rocking back in the day? Sarah Beth.
I've actually been thinking about it all week because I was like, I don't even know where I had an iPod Nano. Mine was white. I played a lot of pop punk, emo, indie. I would say now, because I think it still holds true, is Gym Class Heroes, Friend Request.
That's a great
which is all about like a song entirely about getting a friend request on MySpace. And there's just something about that. Like everything about, Gym Class Heroes, the lead used to date Katy Perry, like during her like California Dreamin' like days.
Travie McCoy, we remember.
Travie McCoy.
I was locked in.
Way back. I don't even know if you know what Scrappy's is. So Scrappy's was this little venue in downtown Tucson, like one street over from like the Rialto and stuff. And it was one of the few at the time, like all ages venues. We used to pay like $5-10 like in cash at the door for like shows. And so I saw a lot of like they were big to us because like really like into like the indie whatever scene. But like I saw Gym Class Heroes there for like $5 when I was like 15, 16 with my friends, and like just like this. And then it was like within like 6 months, he's like dating Katy Perry and like had blown up. We saw Cobra Starship right around the time the song Snakes on a Plane came out. So, but Gym Class Heroes, Friend Request, all about MySpace. Like that's one of my go-tos. The entire album's one of my go-tos, like on my way to work when I just need something to like be ridiculous and like cheer me up. It like holds true.
That's fantastic. What was the song they were best known for back in the day? Take a look at my. It's not Friend Request. It's something else.
It's not Friend Request. Give me a second.
No, but I definitely had that song on my iPod Nano, whatever that song was.
Yep.
We probably have listeners and viewers who are saying, "Oh, I got the
It's
song."
gonna drive me crazy. I'm looking it up. I'm gonna be honest because it's gonna drive me crazy.
This is giving Mike extra time to come up with his choice. I'm sure he has a whole list.
What? Cupid's Chokehold.
Cupid's Chokehold. That was the song on my MySpace page.
Was it?
For an undisclosed
I'm sure I had Cupid's Chokehold at some point.
Yeah, it had to have been. It had to have been the Travie McCoy era. Very good, Sarah Beth. I knew you would not disappoint with this one.
Yeah, like it's such like a borderline niche, like
yes.
But it was like every time my brain goes back to, I mean, really anything by Gym Class would probably be like my go-to, but specifically Friend Request because in my head, my iPod and my MySpace page went hand in hand.
Straight up. Mike Steph, a tough act to follow.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna have to ask for clarification. This is probably something I should have asked for when I first saw the question. Um, what year timeline are we talking about? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit behind when it came to transitioning from CD Walkmans over to iPods. Like I got an iPod. I'm stuck in my ways. So I got an iPod in 09, the beginning of 09, right? So MySpace was about 07 or 8, something like that. So that's why I'm asking what time frame you're talking about, and then I can give you a more accurate, because like right now in my mind, the first thing that I could think of that was on my iPod was, well, this is the Dat Piff area. So I was downloading a whole bunch of stuff from Dat Piff, and that was like 2009, 2010 or whatever. So it was like Lil Wayne, No Ceilings, a lot of mixtapes like DJ White Owl and all that stuff. Shoot, there was a guilty pleasure of mine, and even though there's an age gap, guilty pleasure of mine that came out around that time that I think y'all talking about was put the lime in the coconut and twist it all up. Put the lime in the coconut and twist it all up. With Tiger. Yeah, like that. I ain't gonna lie, I was bumping that. So
Tiger's a great choice for this era. He may have peaked at that time, frankly.
And then there was I don't know if this is a little bit more. This is probably a little earlier. You had Shorty Low, they know, and then you had which called Rick Ross. Rick Ross was don't you got? I'm a goddamn boss,
I'm a boss.
Yeah.
T-Pain.
T-Pain, yes.
T-Pain could be the answer for this
T-Pain. That was another
Yes.
guilty pleasure of mine. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
I actually started really appreciating his music recently more. When I look back, I'm like, oh, you know what? T-Pain had a lot of hits that they bumped, but I was just like, man, this auto-tune. But now, like, you know what? He has some joints. So yeah, Tiger, T-Pain, and I guess Lil Wayne.
I have two choices for this one, and then we'll get out of here. I distinctly remember within days of getting an iPod Nano, listening to Bobby Valentino's "Slow Down." And I remember we were on a trip. We were on a trip to SeaWorld. This was the seminal 6th grade trip before we ascended to junior high. And I remember my mom was one of the chaperones. I've never told her this story. She's gonna find out now. What's up, Ma? I remember my class crush was like several rows ahead of me on this bus to SeaWorld, and I never had the gumption. I never developed the gumption to really talk to her or let her know that I was feeling her. But I just remember playing Bobby Valentino on loop. Slow down. I just want to get to know, and just like looking at her, not in a creepy way, but just sort of thinking like, oh wow, I wonder what junior high is going to bring, and if I'll ever have the courage to ask her for lunch or ask her to lunch or something. So there's Bobby Valentino before Mike Steph jumps in, and then also, and I'm not saying that I'm happy with how his career has turned out since, but I loved and still love me some Justin Timberlake. That discography, Justin Timberlake, Senorita. And rest assured, I would just go back to back with these songs during this during this SeaWorld bus trip. So I was in my bag. It was a very good era for me in 6th grade. Justin Timberlake, Senorita, Bobby Valentino, Slow Down. That's all I needed back then.
For a fact that I actually listened to that song recently, Senorita. There's a lot of Justin Timberlake songs I've been listening to.
The man's a problem.
I mean, he had some jams. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Suit and Tie years later. Come on now.
But yeah, that's where I got off the ball. I'm like, listen.
Okay, well, you're missing out. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate for you.
Yeah, I just wasn't dealing with that. Oh yeah, bringing Sexy back. Yeah, that was great. But going back to your Bobby Valentino, and not to keep it, not to prolong this, but you didn't like the other song,
Pimping All Over the World.
How did you get in them jeans?
Oh yeah. No, I had
that was my jam.
The world. Okay, that's good. I'm happy for you. He had hits. I wonder what he's doing now.
Sexy.
Maybe he'll come on the podcast. I think this is the most anyone's talked about Bobby Valentino in years. No shade, but maybe he'll join us on the pod.
Tell you the truth, the things that came out, I think he would rather be forgotten.
I did not know about that. Okay, well, we will end the conversation here.
That's what we
Sarah
call
Beth, I
tease.
love. That's a tease. I love the gym class hero selection. All American Rejects was also a favorite of
That
mine.
was one of my all-time favorites.
Shakira.
All American Rejects was actually my second
Yes.
choice. Was Swing Swing.
Fantastic.
Like, I listened to that album on repeat. Like,
I love that. It's a great choice. Well, this has been absolutely wonderful. Again, I missed you both. I'm so glad we could link up and make this happen. Again, new episodes, new recaps with Sarah Beth and Mike Steph will drop every 2 weeks. Before we get out of here, Sarah Beth, Mike Steph, please remind us where and can we connect and support all that you two are doing.
Instagram, Dear Sarah Beth, make it easy.
Period. It's my favorite Instagram handle. Mike Steph, Summer of Steph mixtape. You have about 4 different podcasts. Close us out.
Yeah, well, you can catch me here every other Wednesday on 4AZ, the Abbott Elementary recaps. You can catch me on 19 Media Group's Hidden Gems Football during the football season. I think I'm leaving. I'm going away. You can catch me on Hidden Gems Football, 19 Media Group. We drop every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you can catch me on my own, my baby, my darling, Salty Thoughts to Mike Steph podcast each and every late Sunday night, early Monday morning on the YouTube channel of Mike Steph, along with Instagram, Mike_Steph. And I think that is it.
You heard it here first. Thank you all for joining us. Let us know how you're feeling about the new Abbott season, predictions, theories. We want to hear it all. Leave us a comment here on YouTube. Connect with us again on social at 4AZTeach. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next time.